Okay.
Hello, everybody. It is the RambleCast. This is Wednesday, September 29th. Jeez. Why is 2021 going by so quickly? And by 2021, I actually mean this is 2020 round 2.
It's just March of 2020. It never ended.
Oh, come on. I think we're in April now.
I don't know.
But it feels that. April. I mean, we have kind of April weather. It's rainy. Very, very rainy. But still not so cold as to be freezing. I say that as I'm wearing a sweater.
We had a lovely, fall weather cycle a couple days ago where it was maxed out at 80 degrees. It would go down to the 60s. And it was lovely. And it also coincided with me realizing my AC was broken. So that was nice that it was also nice outside. But now it's back up to 85, I think. Yeah. It's pretty warm out. Yeah, it's 83. So yeah, at some point we'll get our full week of fall, and then it'll drop down to the 40s until March or April next year. That's usually how seasons happen here.
Yeah. So
it's Mason. Hi, Mason.
Hey, Mason. How's it going? Good to have you at the RambleCast. So, as I kind of gave away during the or earlier today, Android Police is about to change looks. For those of you who have not seen it already, I'm gonna quickly pop into one of the posts just so there's context here. So, Android Police currently looks like this. Anyone who's seen it anywhere in the recent history, you've seen how it looks. You kind of remember. It's a good look. Actually, it's not, but we're not going to judge too hard. It's dated. Anyway, sometime today, maybe, it is going to start looking like this. This will be the new look of titles, the hero image. We are changing fonts. A lot of other stuff is going to kind of be tweaked and adjusted, but we're getting there. That conversion is supposedly happening right now. In fact, it was actually supposed to wrap up 2 hours ago, or maybe hour and a half ago. Hasn't happened yet. So things go about as well as they go when you rapidly switch systems in the background. Every software company I've worked at in some capacity or another usually does pretty hardcore planned rollouts. This one feels not so planned. Anyway,
I'm just thinking about all that time I spent making the dark theme.
I'm thinking about all the time I spent formatting and doing my best to make teardowns look good. Let me see if I can find one of those real quick because they're butchered. I mean, butchered. Let's see. Pop down here. I think this will. Let's see if the even load. Oh my god. It's worse than I thought. Oh, I might have to go back and fix some stuff. Okay, Corbin, if you're not watching this. All right, so hero image, for whatever reason, is not what the hero image used to be. It has grabbed a screenshot.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Scrolling down, the image gallery is broken. We get to where I put in strings. There is a read more block that as they're supposed to be. And then immediately after that, I don't even know what's going on here. Oh man. Oh my god, this whole article is just...
It looks like some tag somewhere didn't get closed.
Yep. Something happened. I'm sure some short code got broken or something.
That looks
All right.
exactly like every time I go through like old Engadget or Verge articles or something when I'm trying to research something for Tech Tales, and it's very obvious the article has gone through like 3 or 4 theme migrations, and it's all broken. Yeah, good stuff. But
I'm quickly reporting this as another bug.
yeah. Oh, also, since the last show, I got my Galaxy Watch 4 finally. And I was able to... It actually uses the same band size as my Watch Active 2. So I stole the leather band I had for that before. And it's pretty nice. It feels a little bit... I don't know if I like it more than the Watch Active 2. Because I've got that over here. And I like that with this one, Samsung kind of went for like the 3D screen, like the edges are rounded off, and this watch in comparison is just very flat. But it is a little bit easier to swipe back and forth with the screen completely flat. So I don't know, it's fine.
Let's see. So, quick responses. Curvy, great to have you here. The article link I actually can't give you at the moment because it's still technically private access. But I'm sure in the next hour or 2 or 3 or however long it takes, it should go live, and I'll link to it at that time. Or, well, maybe we'll see. I'll keep trying to peek in at Android Police, but I have a feeling we'll be on the old look for at least another couple hours.
I think she was telling you to look at the article in RambleCast, which is something about the Google launching a second-gen Nest doorbell in 2022. And I have no opinions about anything Nest related.
Yeah,
like I rent, so I can't put one of these on my door if I wanted to.
Okay, so I don't have strict opinions on the products. I want to get a couple of them, but yeah, I don't have a hardcore opinion on any of them. That's the thing. I haven't used it. Well, sorry, I've used a Nest Protect. I think that's the right name. That was the like smoke alarm one. Mm-hmm. It wasn't very good, actually. It had tons of false positives. It should have been better, but it was technically a first-gen product that went horribly sideways. Not terrible, just not great. Okay. I just saw a DM I'll have to answer in just a second, but I can wait a second. Let's see. The other thing, really, really super quick, not going to spend any time talking about it now, but Curvy mentioned ordered a Fossil Gen 6. Fun fact, I will be receiving and reviewing a Fossil Gen 6 somewhere in the next week. Well, I'll be reviewing in a couple of weeks, but receiving in the next week. So I will have some thoughts. I will probably even bother you to share your thoughts. We'll see what happens. But yeah, as far as the doorbell goes, I'd like one. Actually, I think I almost ended up reviewing this one. But the thing is, my current house doesn't have an actual like place for a doorbell. So I've been using the battery-powered Nest doorbell, which sucks. In fact, actually, it really sucks now because it has bricked itself. I'm serious. But yeah, the thing is, where I live, I don't have much need for doorbells. It's kind of the catch. But anyway, so yeah, that was pretty much catches up with comments and thoughts. Corbin, go ahead and talk for a second. I'm going to quickly respond to a message I just got.
Well, I don't have a smart doorbell, but I do have like 2. I think they're from TP-Link, the Casa cams. They're fine. They're not like probably the best for security because I don't have cloud recording or anything set up. I pretty much just plug them in when I leave, so I can check to make sure my dog isn't like eating her kennel or something. And they're nice for that. So, oh, that's true. Austin brought up that Cody has a security goat, so he might not need a doorbell camera.
True fact.
Yeah. The ultimate. I want Cody. I want you to write like a very serious comparison article. Goat versus Nest Cam.
You do know that the goat's gonna win.
I know, that's why I want you to write. It'd be great.
Oh, if it
and then,
here's,
and
I'll
then,
tell you,
and then
I'll tell you exactly why the ghost is why the goat is gonna win, because it doesn't spy on you for the police.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it also doesn't share videos with, what was it, Russians or Ukrainians? Whoever it was Amazon was outsourcing to. Romanians? I don't know. There was some Eastern Bloc country that was watching all those videos.
The goat's not a snitch.
I mean, she's a little bit of a snitch, but not to foreign operatives.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
It's a good standard to go by.
Goat security. Yeah. And then like whenever I write an article about something this, I can just link to that and say, you know, it's a great deal, but if you can get a goat, that might be preferable.
I mean, I have actually literally read an article that had that as a recommendation. Granted, it was basically saying don't get a lawnmower, get a goat instead.
Right.
But I mean, hey, anytime you can be advised to get a goat, that's kind of a win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know, anything that keeps you from giving more money to the large capitalist tech companies, and you can just support your local goat economy instead. That's always preferable.
Yes.
A goat economy, if you will.
Sorry, I just glanced at the responses from me reporting that page bug. Oh, the new AP appears to be live. Or at least someone said it is.
Oh, this looks like a website.
It certainly could be called that. I sound so cynical about it. So this is the new Android police as of the Valnet acquisition. So we have news, which I'm assuming will be the chronologic. No, wait, what? That's wrong. I did not just update the movie post, but it says 30 minutes ago. For whatever reason, that's the most recent. I bet that was just the most recent saved.
Times are hard.
Oh. Jeez. Okay. So it is still chronological. You just have to tap into the androidpolice.com/news and you will see the current stuff. All right. So that's good. I mean, people who want that. Review list. The latest is not the latest. Okay. But maybe it will be. Okay. Well, stuff is broken. Some of it will get fixed with time. That's good. Okay, so enough picking on that, I think, maybe. We'll see. By the way, to anyone listening right now, I will quickly raise the topic. We didn't really come in here so well prepared this week with topics, so feel free to make suggestions. Um, Corbin, do you have anything to start off or continue with? If not, I think I can jump to probably the most interesting thing this week.
There was a little bit of a snafu a couple days ago. I will put this in the Discord. There's some llama drama over the iPhone 13. There was a tech review, tech repair YouTube channel that did a video where they swapped the displays onto iPhone 13s, basically just to simulate like what a screen repair would be like for a non-Apple certified repair person, just anyone with the proper equipment replacing the screen on your phone. And it resulted in Face ID breaking. The phone would no longer recognize faces and wouldn't let you reset up anything again. As of whenever I wrote that article, I'm not sure if there's been a development, but Apple was not giving statements to anyone about this because people don't know if it's like a bug, because there's no like Face ID components in the actual display assembly. I think there might be like an ambient light sensor or something, but not like the proprietary components that Face ID relies on. That's all just in the rear shell and like where the notch is. So don't know if it's a bug or if it's Apple intentionally crippling non-certified repair shops again, like they've continued to do for the past forever.
Yeah, I actually like ZDNet's. It was the first one that came up, but I like their title on this. The iPhone 13 means the end of cheap screen repairs.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't think of any other way to interpret this. Apple basically just created another reason why you have to have Apple Care, because otherwise, who wants to have to pay for screen repairs straight from Apple?
Yeah, and you know, if this is intended behavior, then presumably they have some way for Apple certified repair shops to get around this. But iFixit did a really good report last year, which I linked in my article, about how terrible Apple's repair program was for repair shops. So like if repair shops wanted to become Apple authorized, they have to wait months. They have to sign NDAs and a bunch of other agreements. They have to like hang a thing on in their shop that says like, we're not Apple, which is that only gets you customers, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
You know, they have to buy parts from Apple, and usually they're significantly more expensive than third-party parts, because of course they are. So at a certain point, you can't stay cost competitive with Apple Store phone repairs. So it's just it's really gross, and Apple is only digging its own grave here with how this is pushing more and more right to repair legislation.
I was just gonna bring that up. It's interesting because the more they push this, the more it like you said, it is digging their own grave, but it's drawing that line where, for lack of a better way to say it, the right to repair legislation was already basically kind of a, look, we want everyone to do the right thing, and we're going to set some basic requirements. And here Apple is basically presenting like a full menu of every single thing that can be done wrong that is against the spirit of right to repair. And in a year or 2 years or however long it takes, this is going to be the new legislation. They're going to be, like, every politician is going to be looking at this saying, all right, cool, thanks, Apple. These are all the things we're going to have to ban. These are all the things we're going to have to force you to do right. Which kind of feels like what Europe just had to do. or just chose to do.
Yeah, so I don't think Apple has still said anything about this, but yeah, not great. Yeah, so that was the thing. Amazon also announced a bunch of stuff yesterday. I think I don't really care. It was just, more security products. Like, I don't know why you would put a camera from Amazon in your house, but some people seemed really excited to do that. I prefer for Jeff Bezos to not see me poop in my own home, so I'm gonna just have to pass on those.
Well, so everyone's been talking about the flying drone camera. I honestly keep wondering, like, how much is this going to become a security issue in different, like, from all different perspectives. So, for example, let's just hypothetically say, I don't know, a hacker gets access. Could they basically just use this to scout your entire house? It sort of seems that way.
Yeah, probably.
Not only that, but couldn't this theoretically be used to sort of sneak looks at the neighbors through any window it can find? I mean, the more you think about what a flying drone can do that Amazon will ostensibly have full control of in some capacity, yeah, I'm not sure that that's a good thing. That leaves me with a lot of cringe factor about what could happen with this, just as a whole.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll pass on Bezos' security drone. I don't really need that in my life.
I gotta admit, I'm also a little blown away by the fact it's only $250. That, to me, screams they really want to get this out to people.
Yeah, I'm sure it's subsidized by whatever recurring costs you have to do. I don't know how... what's Amazon's
Nest.
security ecosystem?
Still Nest. Or, sorry, not Nest.
No.
Ring.
Yeah, Ring.
It's too many names are too
I'm
similar.
sure there's some drone subscription you have to have.
Yeah. Well,
just like
I don't know,
consoles.
maybe not. Because the Ring, all the Ring stuff still works without a subscription. It's just you lose the ability to record videos. Or I think you only get live video or something. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, I guess I could imagine them having a required, like, if you want it to work at all, you have to pay monthly or whatever.
Well, yeah, so that was the whole thing. I don't know what else has been happening, really. And I've also kind of got a headache, so I don't know how long I'm gonna be on. Probably, I'll go to the hour and then probably go to bed or something, because I feel kind of gross today.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I don't know how long I've got, because this chair is killing me. For anyone who has missed it, my chair is broken. Yeah, if I do, or so the way it works is this chair, like, part of its structure is built into the seat. So if I'm not sitting straight up, if I actually lean it into the back. This, by the way, is the chair in the locked upright position.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. No, I should be up about here. So, yeah, it's not a good one.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
The joys of working from home.
No, it's the joys of just a crappy chair. This chair is just 1000% garbage. I have left the most scathing review I have ever left for anything on Amazon 3 separate times for this chair. Well, once to complain about it when it was still technically in good working order, then twice as it has subsequently broken in various ways.
Oh, those are the best reviews on Amazon. I appreciate those, where like someone used it for a really long time and like changed it 6 times.
Yeah.
I love those, because that's the stuff you don't get from like professional reviews when they use it for like a month maybe, and that's it. You gotta talk to the people who bought this 5 years ago and have to live with their choices.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I've been meaning to get like a good chair, but I it's not a super high priority because this one's still okay. I went to, there's a Office Max, I think, that I walked through while I was waiting for my dog to be bathed, and they had some chairs, and none of them really felt significantly more comfortable than what I already have. And they also had a Razer gaming chair, which I thought was kind of funny at an Office Max, and that was the least comfortable chair I've ever sat in my life. It was like I was sitting on a pile of rocks. It was extremely firm.
My current chair, I think it was about 3 months ish. Maybe it's 2 months. I don't know. It could have been a little bit longer, but I'm pretty sure it was about 2 or 3 months. The padding in the seat broke down almost immediately. And I mean, I'm a guy. I'm not super lightweight, but you know, I floated about 200 pounds. So this should not have destroyed the seat in that short of time. And that the padding broke down, so at one stage it basically felt kind of like I was sitting on a wooden board. There was just no give whatsoever, just sitting on a flat, hard surface, which is not great. Let's see. And then at various stages, the back of it started breaking down. So if I lean against the back of it, there's this one part. It feels like almost a bungee cord is stretched across your lower back. So it's just kind of cutting in. Yeah, that's a real winning aspect to it. So yeah, I hate this thing. If it weren't for the fact that the center column of a chair is under extensive pressure, and blowing one of those things up is a bad idea. If it weren't for that, I want to take this thing out, set it on fire, or stick it into a crusher or something. Like I want to make a spectacle of destroying this chair. But I
want there to be no evidence that you paid money for that, besides the scathing review.
Oh no, are you kidding? I was thinking about like recording it and showing it on RambleCast. Like,
yeah, what you could do is like
watch my chair get destroyed.
And you could find some way to embed that in a couple AP articles for good measure too. Like, it's like like what if you accepted like a phone to review just so that could be like the sample video recording? Like here's an average smartphone video of like an exploding chair. I hope this helps.
Okay, you know what? You actually just gave me an idea. Okay, for those who don't know, I live in Oregon. This is a state that
has a lot of exploding chairs.
Well, I was gonna say we're the south of the West, if that makes sense. I'm sure that makes sense. Anyone who knows what you mean when you say something is the South, yeah, we're just that, but on the western coast. You are the South, yes.
Careful.
But it's not like people around here don't know how to destroy things. I feel like I'm getting put on an FBI watch list as I say this. But I bet if I put out a call on Facebook, there will be someone around here who's like, oh, we might have something. We might have something that packs a pop, and I could probably take this out into some backwoods area or something and totally record this thing getting blown up. And I wonder, my idea is, I wonder if I could convince some company that does like gamer chairs or something to sponsor this. Send me a free chair and I will totally like sponsor you with the destruction of this old chair.
I'm sorry, are you asking companies to behave like OnePlus? This is exactly what OnePlus did. They did
Yes.
the destroy your phone and we'll send you a phone. Although
Chairs
you
are
can't
expensive. I need one.
You can't, yeah, although like you can't really recycle a broken chair probably. So I think there, you know, there's probably less of a reason to get mad at something like that versus
okay.
a functional phone.
It's true, you can't exactly recycle a broken chair, but it's not like you can't still sort of use some of the components. Strictly speaking, if you just rip the back off of this chair, the casters and the lifting column all still actually in seemingly perfect condition. So ironically, like, how many times have you used a desk chair where the casters are the first things to go bad? On this thing, no, they seem perfect. So I don't know. So maybe not, like, it's not recycling, it's upcycling or downside. I don't know. Whatever the appropriate terminology is. Oh man, I'm sorry, I should not be doing this, but I keep looking over at our Slack channel for all of the things that have happened since the migration to the new system. And honestly, like, so just as a heads up, anyone who's expecting news out of Android Police, just give us time. It'll come someday. Things are oh. Yeah, things are not working super well. Wow. Like, it's real bad.
Well,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, Corbin, I'm going to have a lot to share in the Discord later.
Okay.
I'm sure that Errol's going to be sharing plenty too. But, yeah. So anyway, what else do we have?
I mean, I was looking at other technology sites. It seems like it's been kind of like a light week so far. Besides Amazon doing things, not a whole lot happening.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was looking for stuff earlier, and it's surprising how much this week actually turned out to be a bit of a not that nothing happened. It just weirdly not a lot.
It's a nice pause after all the Apple and Microsoft news and everything else. You have a nice week where you take a break, maybe read something besides tech news. Go, pick up that book you've been meaning to read for 8 months.
Yeah.
Play a fun game.
Speaking of, I actually do still need to get around to reading Androids, the Chet Haas book. But
yeah, I should probably pick that up at some point. Although my book backlog is worse than my games backlog.
Yeah, I know how this goes.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm sure there's stuff in there that'll make a couple good tech tales at some point.
Okay, anyway, let's see, so the other thing, I don't know that I want to, well, yeah, we should probably count this in. Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro prices for the EU have maybe leaked. Maybe, kinda could have. So for those who were following this, and this was obviously a discussion in Discord earlier, the Pixel, or these are in European prices, or the Euro specifically. The Pixel 6 is expected to come out to $649, and the 6 Pro $899. And depending on how you do your conversions, sometimes this can be kind of one-to-one with dollars. Sometimes it could theoretically be cheaper. In all likelihood, it will be more than that for USD, but we'll see. Either way, this is coming out to just barely, for the regular Pixel 6, this is coming out just slightly above the cost of the Pixel 5, just €20 more. And for the 6 Pro, that is €50 cheaper than the Pixel 4, which, not gonna lie, that leaves me very optimistic for USD prices. I don't.
So that, so kind of in line where it seemed like performance is gonna be, where like maybe roughly around other flagships. Yeah, that's interesting. Again, I have no skin in the game because I don't really intend on buying any Pixel phones in the foreseeable future. But I would like to see Google be actually competitive, and they've mostly failed at doing that in the past couple years. As much as I liked my original Pixel, that was a great phone. Well, it's still a great phone. Mine still works. I just don't really have a use for it. But
yeah, well, I've already gone on record as saying I'm getting the 6 Pro. That's basically a foregone conclusion. But beyond that, I don't really have any specific thoughts yet on size. And I'm still somewhat undecided on color, but I'm leaning pretty heavily towards black.
Yeah,
all of this without actually having a formal announcement.
I know, that's what... Well...
3 weeks away. About-ish.
It's an ambulance going past me. Yeah, I mean, that's the nice thing when companies don't just pretend to be secretive about this stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of in the dark. It's like, oh, cool, I can make purchasing decisions now. We can mention briefly that YouTube Music is rolling out to some Wear OS 2 watches, because originally this was limited to watches running Wear OS 3, which was very strange for a music player. I don't know what it would need Wear 3 for. And it turns out it didn't need Wear 3, because Google is now slowly rolling it out to watches on older software. It's still some Wear 2 watches. The list they mentioned was like the Fossil Gen 6, TicWatch Pro 3, TicWatch E3, which are all Snapdragon 31 or 4100 watches. So I don't know, maybe there's a minimum CPU requirement for YouTube Music. I don't know. That would...
I hope not.
I mean, it would be weird, but also like Spotify was pretty iffy on Galaxy watches in the past. So I don't... Maybe this is just one of those things that like there's too much stuff loading. And also I think we need to iterate again how garbage the Snapdragon Wear chips are in general. It's a miracle they can run anything. So
harsh.
Like
accurate, but harsh.
Yeah. So I turned on my Fossil Sport a couple weeks ago because I was trying to test something. I was like, oh no, this was terrible. I can't believe I thought this was good.
I mean, I've had watches that ran pretty nicely, and then I've seen others that that were pretty garbage. Um,
Yeah,
I am
the
kind of looking
fossil
forward
stuff.
to. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the fossil sport had that lovely. I think it was 512 megs of RAM. Like it just, it was really rough. It
I
was
mean,
bad.
if you put in barely enough RAM to hold the an icon, what do you expect?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, seriously, that is bad. And the original Wear watches, most of them were they obviously can't hold up to this sort of stress. Not to say that they really couldn't. It's obviously a software engineering issue,
Hmm.
but yeah, at this stage, I think everyone's in agreement. You can put a little bit more RAM into a watch. You can put a little bit stronger processor in. We've got the technology down to make these things reasonable. Um, so yeah, if anything's underperforming if anything new is underperforming these days, it's really honestly I kind of chalk that up to Qualcomm not delivering.
Yeah. And one little tidbit here that kind of snuck under the radar that I saw and was like, oh no, was that all music is limited to 128 kilobits per second. So that is like that's not good. that's
No.
like that's like I think aren't CDs 128? I think
Uh,
it's not good. I have
I thought
some
it was
music that I,
256.
I have some music that I can't get higher than 128, and it's not great. And I do wonder why there's not like a switch for that, because like I assume that like this is just for storage because most Wear watches don't have a lot of storage. Like I know for a while I was using a app for transferring music files to my watch, and and it did a down conversion on my music for that reason. But the Galaxy Watch has like 16 gigs of storage, I think, or 8 or 16. And some other watches have a lot, so I feel like that should be a toggle somewhere
Mm-hmm.
um, than anything else. So that was, yeah, the Galaxy Watch 4 has 16 gigs of storage, so you can store a couple albums on 16 gigs.
Oh sure. Yeah, I. It really, if you have more than okay, setting aside the size of the operating system itself, if you have even, I would say, one, well, 1 to 2 gigs of storage, you have enough to put on music for your run, for your for most of
Mhm.
your day. In fact, that's not unreasonable. Um, it's it's that when you start factoring in the size of applications, the fact that a lot of the apps, Spotify and YouTube Music and everybody else also try to pre-download music that they just think you might want to hear. You start factoring in a lot of other stuff, and their size is just like they kind of take advantage of that storage. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Just sometimes your storage doesn't stretch as far as it should or could.
Mhm. Yeah. I still have not tried YouTube Music ever. It just, yeah, I'm still on my mom's family Spotify account, and that's where I will stay.
Do you um do you subscribe to YouTube Premium?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. It's as soon as I get like a different job or a raise or something, that's probably going to be one of my first things, cuz like
It's
I
worth
would
it.
very much like I can't the YouTube ads now are terrible. I would very much like to not see those again, but I really can't add any more subscription things. So as soon as my situation changes, that will be probably one of the first things I start paying for. Because I also keep waiting for them to launch. There were rumors for a while that Google was working on a YouTube Premium that was slightly cheaper and didn't have YouTube Music, which would be perfect for me. I don't want them. I have Spotify. I'm not interested in YouTube Music. Just give me the no ads, please.
I genuinely
And
wonder if
and
that's the
and
reason
before
why. they haven't done it.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that's part of the reason.
I expect
I'm
so
sure
fully, because I think it's not that I think it's warranted, but I think most people, it just kind of it is the default thing to say. They're just going to switch to Spotify. Like almost everyone just defaults that is the best one. Which, with everything people say about the app, I'm still unclear why people say that, but it is what it is.
I mean, like if I didn't get Spotify for free, I probably would have switched to YouTube Music and Premium by now, just because like, you know, I would get more use out of it than a single user Spotify plan in terms of money, especially with the no ads on YouTube. And also, like, I really don't like that Spotify keeps giving Joe Rogan money.
Yes.
And I would not be happy with me giving Spotify money and a small bit of that gets redirected to Joe Rogan.
I don't think it's a small bit of it, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And before some smart people in the comments go, Corbin, there's a cool thing called YouTube Vans. Yes, I know. I know that exists. That's the first thing someone jumps out of the woods with as soon as you bring up ads on YouTube. Oh, have you heard of YouTube Vans? Yes. I usually don't use ad blockers because if everyone used ad blockers, I wouldn't make money.
Yeah.
So I try not to use ad blockers on other people. There is some crossfire with my DNS level blocking for tracking stuff that does take out ads, but I'm not intentionally trying to block ads. Like YouTube ads get through because they're served through YouTube. And also sometimes like I can laugh at how stupid the ads are, so it's not all bad. Like sometimes I get those like really weird mobile game ads that are amusing for like 10 seconds, but anyway.
Oh, I got so sick of seeing those on social networks. But yeah, they're like an arms race. They just keep getting like worse and worse. It's great. Yeah, no kidding. And it's funny because at some point Google was supposedly doing this whole thing where they were actually kind of punishing apps for false advertising. And so I was actually going through and reporting a bunch of them. And then I found out kind of quietly that Google was like, yeah, we're going to stop punishing apps for false advertising because it doesn't seem to be helping. And we're too busy. We just can't keep up with it.
Yeah. Remember those fun, like, it might have been like a year where Google Ads kept breaking out of their frames and redirecting the pages that they were in to different websites, and everyone complained about it, and Google's solution was to build a hijacking blocker into Chrome instead of fixing its own ad network.
I mean, it was the problem was going on for several years, but yeah, I think the solution to that, I want to say that was closer to 2 years ago. I could be wrong, but it feels like that's now been quite a while. Still, the fact that they couldn't just be smart about it and say, hey, our own ad network should probably be first to say, let's filter ads. Let's make sure that no one's pushing through janky JavaScript that hijacks browsers.
Yes, 2018 is when Google turned on its blocker for redirecting ads. So that was a while ago. Yeah. So that was fun.
I've been meaning to come back and quickly comment on this. Austin asked regarding the Pixel 6, do you think we'll be able to see or to pre-register to pre-order? No. My hunch is I have two theories on this actually. I think one, Google is going to be very keen to get people to just straight up pre-order. Two, and I know that this is going to sound crazy, but it's my hunch. I think Google is going to try its damnedest to not have a long pre-order lead, like a long lead time for shipping. I've got this weird feeling Google's going to launch the Pixel 6, and even people ordering like 45 minutes to an hour after announcement are still going to be getting like the maybe at most a week after anyone else.
Yeah, Google is not known for its reliable product launches, but I'm sure this year will be worse just because of all the fun silicon shortages. I'm sure they'll have fewer pixels ready to go on launch day than they probably like, which already is usually lower than the demand ends up being. So yeah, I'm sure that'll be fun.
Austin asked, what about the chip shortage? My going theory on this is
it's called the Pixel 6 because there's 6 of them.
Corbin,
First
please.
6.
Somebody slap Corbin. Someone who lives closer to him, slap him. No, here's the thing. We know this chip has been in manufacturing for a while. It's entirely possible that Google basically approached Samsung, who we know is the manufacturing partner and partial designer. It's entirely possible that they basically went in and said, look, let's start making this now. Let's get this in production as early as possible. And I'll bet worst case scenario, they probably have been smart and aware enough to plan that whatever they don't use of the chip in phones, they'll be able to use it in other hardware somewhere. So, hell, in fact, it's entirely possible this same chip will be going into the 6A when that gets announced. Whenever it
Pixel tablet, let's go. Pixel tablet.
Yeah, Pixel tablet. Hey, maybe in the Pixel Watch. I'm kidding. Oh, man, imagine a Pixel Watch running that processor. Oh boy.
Battery life is 6 minutes.
7 with ambient display. No, anyway. Yeah, honestly, it's entirely possible.
Cody, what if they make a Chromecast with it? Fastest Chromecast in the West. Let's go.
Okay, somebody slap Corbin. Anyway, seriously though, I do believe there's a very genuine possibility that this seems to be something Google has been planning. Everything, the fact they've been advertising and marketing this phone for over a month, like full advertising this phone for over a month before they even have the freaking product announcement. They've already put the physical shell of the phone out for people to see in stores. They didn't even bother like trying to keep the look of it secret months ago. We have so much about this phone. My thinking is they probably looked at it and said, you know what? We are confident we're going to ship minimum 3 million units. And we're probably going to ship 4 million. I'm thinking that's minimums. So I wouldn't be surprised if they ordered that. You know, maybe they won't have all of that literally day one, but if they're they have to be confident enough about this phone. At this stage, they should be ordering a huge number, which of course huge for them is nothing for Samsung, but I suspect that they have to have ordered a lot. And that's obviously not going to carry them through a whole year, but it probably will carry them through the launch. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of unknowns here. There's a lot we'll never find out, but I bet they have enough that at this stage it probably is down to just final assembly, if nothing else. They probably have all the components. It might just be what what the physical colors are, and maybe sizes and physical colors. I bet almost everything else they can probably put together straight from parts.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, I mean, they could probably be shipping the entire thing out, or the entire launch order, within the first month. I don't know. I could be overhyping it. I could be thinking too highly of Google's ability to plan. But something about this launch feels different. That's what sticks to me, is something feels very different.
Well, it is. I mean, it is different because Google is getting farther and farther out from the product launch than they've done before.
Yeah.
They sort of did this with I think it was the Pixel 5, right? There were renders already being leaked, and Google just said, "Okay, here's what the phone looks like." Or is that still the Pixel? Okay. So, they've done something like this before, but they've obviously ramped it up a couple notches. But still, the question is, will they actually sell more phones? Because this is the same exact story we get with every single Pixel phone. Is we haven't been doing well. We need this one to really be the good one. And I've heard that every year since the Pixels came out. And Google also keeps trying to pull the line we're still a new smartphone design. No, we're on the 6th Pixel generation now.
Yeah.
And you made Nexus phones before that, at least partially yourselves.
Quickly trying to double check if that was the correct Pixel. I feel like someone in chat is going to call us out on this immediately.
And then we ban them.
It looks like the Pixel 4 was the right one. At least from a quick glance at these. Oh god. Yeah. Our Twitter embed even broken. Yeah, here's the Made by Google tweet. Well, since this seems to be of some interest, here you go. Wait till you see what it can do. Yeah, that's the Pixel 4 leak or admission it exists. Here's what the camera looks like thing. Which, not bad, I guess. But
well, yeah, so hopefully that works out. I have one quick note, and then I found an article we can talk about for a little bit, and then I'll probably go because my head hurts. So the short thing is that if you haven't listened to the Tech Tales podcast recently, you should go do that. Because
the quick article we have to talk about, it's a plug.
Yes, it's me. It's me. I'm talking about me. Yeah, so Cody and I are doing a series of episodes on OS2, and this one's been more intense than the last one. Basically, all the episodes are over 40 minutes. So I just mostly finished editing one. Maybe that'll go out later this week, and then more after that. And also, the podcast is kind of popping now. I don't really know what changed, but I'm getting a good amount of listens or downloads, even when I don't publish new episodes. So that's cool. Anyway, that's that. Go listen. The one I just noticed was Bloomberg just published an article an hour ago, and it talks about how at least 11 companies have a development kit for a 4K Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
So I'll put this in. I saw someone link this somewhere. Let me find the right. Okay, there it is.
I already got it. Yep.
Oh.
I actually found it pretty quick.
Okay. So it says many people are surprised to learn that Nintendo's new video game console is missing a common feature of rival systems support for 4K graphics. Perhaps most perplexed were the numerous developers who were working on 4K games using a software toolkit provided by Nintendo. Employees at 11 game companies said their teams were in possession of Nintendo's 4K development kit for the Switch. The companies span the globe, ranging from large publishers to small studios, and include at least one that has never made a console game before, Zynga Inc.
Xenia.
According to employees, which I think isn't that the Candy Crush people?
No. Well, they might be, but they were Farmville, if I recall.
Oh, yes. Let's see, what do they... Oh, yeah. Farmville, Words with Friends.
Yeah, Words with Friends was the other big one.
I
mean, they had like a half dozen big ones, but...
I don't think I played Words with Friends. I played... I wonder if they made, like, Draw Something. I loved Draw Something when that was new. Back when other people actually played the game and I could get people to play with me.
I remember it being popular. I never played any of these. Well, no, I never played any of these. I think I almost got talked into Words with Friends and just blew it off. Draw Something was something I kept hearing about, everyone talking about in podcasts, and I'm like, yeah, I'll never get to this. And plus, the companies behind them just felt so shady. I didn't want to. I didn't want to. That's the answer. I didn't want to.
So then it goes on to say, obviously Nintendo is about to release an OLED Switch, which is just the same Switch hardware, but they replaced the screen with a slightly larger OLED panel, which I've been thinking about getting because I still have the original Switch. And so if I upgrade, then I get the better battery life that was in the first hardware revision, and I get the OLED screen, so that might be worth it. But now there's, supposedly a 4K one is coming out, so I don't know.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but and obviously they will be putting in more powerful hardware, but correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't the Switch have kind of a notorious problem already with performance?
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty underpowered. It was already behind the last console generation, and you can see it struggling even with some of Nintendo's own games. There are a couple that really struggle. Some Nintendo games run great. Like, I love playing Mario Kart 8 because it stays at like a solid 60 FPS wherever you're playing it. It looks great. And then there's other games, especially more recent, that have like noticeable frame drops when you're playing it. And
Corbin, Austin says your mic is popping. I'm not sure if that's the same normal issue or not, but I don't hear it.
Reconnecting.
So, yeah, reconnect. If I don't hear it, chances are it's the typical busted mic issue.
I've returned.
Yes, you have. In low resolution.
Yes. So even some of Nintendo's own games are kind of struggling. Third-party games are usually more rough. Like, actually right now I'm playing the Outer Worlds on Switch, which looks horrific. I posted some screenshots on Twitter. It looks pretty bad. And it's usually kind of a miracle whenever a new game comes out on the Switch and it doesn't look bad or have performance issues. So like, honestly, like, I have a 4K TV and I play my Switch dock sometimes, but I think the main thing there would just be a performance boost for games. And I hope this is implemented in a way where it improves existing games. Because that's something,
you mean like upscaling, or
just allowing games to, like, if I'm assuming this is like a clock boost or something along those lines. Like, will the Switch allow older existing games to use, like, to be faster, or will they be like locked in a compatibility mode? because Nintendo usually goes for like in past times when they had backwards compatibility. The Switch isn't backwards compatible with anything. Um, they games had to opt in to use whatever the newer system had. And I know it's been iffy on like the latest generation where Microsoft has like FPS boost for some Xbox games, but not all of them. And then I don't think Sony has like any equivalent of that at all. You either have a PS4 game or a PS5 game.
Yeah. So with I know Nintendo has in the past. Okay, so the way a lot of their games were developed in the past, and I'm talking far past, I don't know how it is these days, but it used to be this situation where it was kind of like old DOS games. You basically just start the game, and the game runs as fast as the computer can physically push it, and it doesn't limit frames per second, which as a result, if you tried playing any DOS games in like 5 to 10 years after they came out, there was a reasonably good chance that they were going to play. Right. They would look like they played really great, like super fast. And, you know, you had to have like maybe better reflexes to play them, but they were still kind of fun. And then if you play them in much, much more modern times on totally modern computers, like you could start what's supposed to be a 3-minute or 5-minute round, and literally like 1 second the computer just destroys you and you haven't had a chance to react. I know Nintendo used to have a problem with this. Well, if you want to count that as a problem, they did not frame limit anything. The thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of developers are still building their games that way. That sounds kind of dumb, but when you have hardware that doesn't change, and Nintendo has historically never really changed hardware at all, I could see that being a thing. So
yeah, the issue is just compatibility. Because like when you have a game that's built for a fixed hardware platform, and then you just unlock it to run at a higher frequency, like stuff can break because it's only tested on the one thing. So I don't know if where Nintendo will go with that. I know the last time something like this happened was with the 3DS, where Nintendo released the original 3DS, and then they made a new 3DS that had a faster CPU, but existing games could not use it unless they like were built to support that. So you'd have, you could have games that were new 3DS enhanced, but there were very few of those. Mm-hmm. So I imagine if that happened again with the Switch, there would be more. It would be like all the games coming out now for Xbox and PS5, where like most people really want the new thing, and then they're pushing developers to update their games. So I'm sure the new Switch would sell in much higher numbers than the new 3DS did. So I don't think that would be a problem, but I am interested to see what happens there.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I'm just really skeptical that they're upgrading the hardware so substantially that games are going to start being able to deliver in 4K and still perform well. Because if they're already running into that issue, especially with ports, what I guess I'm worried about is what happens if maybe you took a game that was ported over. What are the odds that it will actually perform better on an old Switch than on a 4K Switch that it's a more powerful version, but maybe it maybe pumping out 4K graphics is actually so much more demanding than the hardware they put in. I don't know if I'm saying this right. But
I think I get what you're saying, because this has happened with some Xbox games going in the new generation. Because There was a sale on Fallout 4 a couple days ago, and I wrote it up as a post, and I was trying to research, like, it was the console version, so I was trying to figure out, like, how well does this work on the newer consoles, so I can mention that in the article. And I was reading about how, so this is an Xbox One game that also had a special Xbox One X mode. When you ran it on the normal Xbox One, it was like 1080p 30 FPS. And when you had a Xbox Series X, or not Series X, I'm sorry, Xbox One X, it was like 1440p at 30 FPS still. So better resolution, still about as choppy. When you put that in from what I read, when you put that game in an Xbox Series S or X, you can choose between running the Xbox Series X mode, where you get the 1440p and the 30 FPS, but Microsoft has this FPS boost thing that's supposed to just improve existing games and let them use the hardware efficiently. But this person on Reddit I was reading, when they flipped that on for Fallout, even if they had the Series X, like the best console that Microsoft currently sells, the FPS boost started from the baseline Xbox One game. So it was 1080p at like 120 FPS or something like that. So the result is, like, it did kind of look worse, but it was smoother if you use that option. So no, I get what you're saying, because, like, this has all happened already. I think there's probably gonna be some confusion with how everything works. I think Nintendo will probably be better at it, just because Nintendo didn't already have, like, multiple tiers of the Switch. Like Sony and Microsoft do with their consoles. They have the lower end and the higher end consoles. Well, they did. I don't think Sony has like a PS5 Plus yet, but I'm sure this will be handled a little bit better, because right now there's only one, like, SKU for the Switch. There's only one generation of that. But yeah, no, I think you're right that the 4K Switch is still not going to run most games at 4K, because that's what happened. Because it's probably going to be around the same performance, I would guess, as like the previous generation of consoles, which could also technically do 4K, but they didn't run most games at 4K.
No kidding.
So I'm sure this will be the same thing, where it's the 4K Switch, but there'll be analysis videos on YouTube where it's just running again in like dynamic resolutions, and it can go down pretty far. But yeah, I mean, I would love to see a 4K Switch, just because the current Switch it's really rough for us with newer games. It's pretty bad. And it's getting to the point now where a lot of newer games coming out, they're just skipping the Switch, because there's no feasible way for them to run on there, which was already happening when the Switch came out. A lot of games would skip it, but now it's increasing.
Yeah. Sorry, I just saw the strangest response that I'm not totally understanding in Discord, but I'm sure that's, no, I don't know. Anyway, I'm waiting on Nils to respond, but yeah, I don't know. Console makers have gotten into this weird issue where they're trying to deliver high performance, high graphic quality basically in a mode that is already more challenging than regular video production was wanting to live up to. I mean, it hasn't been that long that movies and TV shows became in any way available in 4K. And that's not something where you have to deliver it on the fly. And here are all these here are the console companies that are like, well, okay, no, we'll advertise 4K, and then the game developers come along and it's like, oh, you want to do 4K? Yeah, sure, we'll ramp up our graphics to do 4K. Can your consoles handle it? And now the console companies are like, oh wait, okay, like we wanted to do 4K in the way of like, you know, easy stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't really intend for you to do 4K when you've got to draw distances out like super far and you've got like millions of things running around on the screen all at once. Could we scale that back a little, guys? Good. It says connection re-successful. Or okay, quickly wave my hand to...
Trying to run OBS on the Switch, are we?
By the way, okay, so it looks like it just glitched out for a second. It's back, but really quick question. Did you know that your camera's off? Oh, for
no,
bandwidth,
it's not.
it says. It says it was turned off for bandwidth. Or the video was turned off.
What's my internet? Do a speed test. Yeah, Nintendo's trying to get rid of me.
Nintendo put a hit out on Corbin, and they're doing it through his ISP. Yeah. By the way, just to make it clear... Oh, go ahead.
My download is 300. It hasn't got to the upload one yet, but like I assume my upload is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, my upload's 20. I don't know what it's complaining about.
I don't know. Maybe Jitsy's just having trouble with you. Regardless. Yeah, where's the... Damn it. Okay. I truly think at some point in the future, Comcast will 100% be doing hits on people. That will become part of their business model.
Oh yeah, if you don't have a Peacock subscription, you're on a kill list somewhere.
Dare we break into that topic? Because I think that's hilarious.
I mean, I can talk about it for like 5 minutes. There was a whole thing where something got leaked out of the negotiations between NBC, which is owned by Comcast, and Google for updated distribution rights for NBC channels on YouTube TV. And it came out that NBC was pushing for Peacock to be included in YouTube TV subscriptions, but like not like for free, like it would have increased YouTube TV prices
by the price of Peacock. Yeah.
So yeah,
and it had no actual impact on what you got with YouTube TV. You would just also get a subscription to Peacock.
Yeah, they're not building
separately.
Yeah. They're not building Peacock into YouTube TV. You don't get that. Yeah.
Which would have been bad anyway, but hey, it is what it is. Damn it. Okay. But yeah, that's one of those things, like, I don't know. I'm not even sure how to describe it beyond saying it looks so desperate for NBC.
Oh, they're so desperate. They really need those Peacock subs, Cody.
Like at this point, I feel like if some shady company approached NBC and was like, "Listen, we will increase your subscriber numbers. Don't ask how. Mm-hmm. We will increase your subscriber numbers. We will get some people to subscribe to Peacock. Just turn the other way. Don't ask how." And at this point, I bet NBC's execs would totally be like, "Listen, we got a guy. Let's do it." Mm-hmm. I'm when you go to a negotiating table and your whole thing is, we want you to pay more, and or rather we want your customers to pay more, and we just want you to force them to subscribe to us. Like that is devastating to your reputation when that comes out. And it came out. I mean, it'd be kind of like if Apple said, hey, hey, you, popular band, we want an exclusive to you where we basically tell everyone that they have to go get an iPod or a Mac or something like that just so they can hear your music that only we're going to carry. We'll even give away your music for free and we'll pay you for it, but we want to make sure everyone has to go get our thing so they can listen to your music. Cough, cough. You're totally not U2. I swear, we're totally not talking to U2 here.
Yeah. The album just appears.
Yes. And everyone turns out to hate it. Yeah. Which is the clincher.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. And this I was shitting on it in your Discord. I was like, I've got NBC on my $30 antenna back there that's duct taped to my wall. Take that, YouTube TV.
Yeah. Yeah, man, there really just isn't much more to say on it than this, but at this stage, and I said it in Discord too, I kind of feel like this revelation is either going to, if NBC is lucky, this could turn out to be one of those all press is good press situations and people take notice, but in the far more likely scenario, everyone who's ever even vaguely considering Peacock is now looking at it and going, oh, if no one else subscribes to it, and that's the only way to interpret this news, no one's subscribing to it, then it means I really don't have a reason to either. And yeah, now it's going to be locked in people's brains. At this stage, not even kidding, I think NBC should probably be planning today to rebrand Peacock again. And this time rebrand it to anything else that just no one will ever associate with the name Peacock, because like, you're cursed. That name is cursed. The streaming service is basically cursed to die after this, because it's not because of a fight with Google, it's because this news looks so bad for them.
Yeah. I covered a story basically exactly like that in Tech Tales, not to plug again, but it was the episode, it was the episode we did on VisiCalc, which was the first spreadsheet application for computers. And basically there was a whole legal battle that broke out between the developers and the publisher of the software. And it got really ugly, and the legal battles were eventually settled out of court after the product that they were fighting over just became like progressively worse. Like, everyone was catching up to it in terms of competition, so it really didn't matter anymore. It wasn't very valuable, and the company who was the publisher had named a bunch of other products with that Visi name. They had like other apps in that family, and they renamed their company to VisiCorp at one point. And a couple years later, when they were purchased, merged something with another company, the other company didn't use their brand at all in anything because it had just been so tainted. It was no one wanted anything to do with it. So it's funny to see things happen over and over again. That being said, I appreciate NBC has the one streaming service that doesn't have plus at the end, because I hate writing about these services that have plus, because it makes other punctuation look weird.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. It's something obviously the average person doesn't care about, but oh my god.
Yeah.
It really is one of the most annoying things.
Yeah. Like, you know how stupid a comma looks next to Disney Plus? Terrible.
Actually, I know quite well how stupid a comma looks next to Disney Plus. In point of fact, I very much had to write that several times, but yeah, I wait, what the hell? Sorry, just looked at the Android Police page, and apparently my movie post is still the most recent post, according to this.
Amazing.
That seems buggy. But, hey, if you ever want to talk about weird branding issues, I mean, strictly speaking, when I was making the movie post hero image, I stacked a bunch of different companies' brands all together for this image. And I'll tell you, some of them are really easy to fit because they all are kind of like, they feel very linear. And then there are others that just stick in the most awkward shapes and designs, and they just do not fit in. So Disney Plus kind of pisses me off on multiple levels.
No. Yeah, I have the free version of Peacock, and I've watched like a couple of things on it, and I guess it's fine. I don't care. I got it at the way they got me to sign up for it was this sounds like I'm just really trying my hardest to plug for Tech Tales. I promise. I'm not. But I was doing research for a Tech Tales on the General Motors EV1 car, and it showed up at one point on an episode of Jay Leno's Garage, and the only way to watch that show is through Peacock. So I signed up for it so I could watch the episode in the hopes that the full episode would have more context than like the article I saw that reported on this segment. It did not. It did not. There was no additional information. But so that's how they got me.
There has never been additional information involving Jay Leno, ever. Jay Leno does not peddle in information. And
it made me so angry watching it because
it's Jay Leno?
No, because that car that I was researching was only ever leased to people, and GM revoked all the leases at a point. So it's a pretty rare car, and especially it's a rare car if it's fully working. Like GM gave some of these to like tech colleges, like after it taken them all back, but like the drivetrain was taken out. Like you couldn't. They needed a lot of work if you wanted to turn them back into cars, and he has this car in his, whatever mansion he's living in, I don't know. I'm sorry, it wasn't Jay Leno. It was the director of The Godfather. They were visiting his house, Francis Ford Coppola. And so he goes to Coppola, yes. He goes to his house, and he's showing like his whole collection, and he has the car. And the only thing that's said about it, Cody, the only thing is he explains that when he heard GM was taking them back, he hid his car. That's it. There's no other context. How did he do that? No one goes over if the car is functional at all. That's it. And then they gloss over. I'm like, what? You can't just say I have like this super rare car for like 10 seconds and then move on. It made me irrationally upset.
No, I'm with you on that. Also, just as a person who's had to do a ton of research and dig into like weird, terrible sources for it, it's amazing how often the really pertinent details tend to be left out.
Yeah. And, this wasn't like, like all those like Food Network shows where they go somewhere and it's like 20 minutes long. It's like, no, this was like a 40-minute episode. And it was just showing his collection of cars. You can't give me more than 10 seconds on this. But whatever. So
yeah, no kidding.
So that's how they got me to sign up for Peacock. Austin said, should I hide my bolt when GM comes for it? I mean, it worked for him, although I don't think the EV1 was blowing up on people. So I don't know if I would necessarily try to conceal that in my home, just because it might set other things on fire.
I don't know. To be fair, people did it with the Note 7.
Yeah. Oh, Cody, I can't wait for the Tech Tales on Note 7. I just that like most of the episode is just going to be me and someone else. I don't know who I do it with, but it's going to be me and whoever else just going through those posts on the Note 7 subreddit where people are trying to help each other, like, guys, how do I like avoid installing the software update that limits my battery capacity? I really like this phone. And I'm just no.
Okay.
Give the phone back to T-Mobile.
My thought, and admittedly this might make editing a bit of a challenge, but my thought on this, you should actually just get like the whole group of us together for that one, because you will basically be able to just do reaction moments of read some stupid post and just record the entire group of us laughing. I honestly think that that could be a comedy episode, because the phone itself honestly was really good. It was just a one bad battery design, and then so many people acted so stupid about it.
Or I would get like one specific person, maybe separate from whoever I'm doing the guest, to like do a dramatic reading of all the posts.
Okay, I have an idea for this. It's a little pricey. Go on one of those like celebrity rental sites and get like, I don't know, somebody who's got a good voice, like a notorious voiceover artist or like the movie voice guy kind of thing. Get them to do dramatic readings. Or okay, here's a dumb one, but I think you'll appreciate it. Get the go to Screen Junkie's Twitter account and tweet at them to record or to repeat certain lines, and then just stitch them all together as the movie voice guy basically effectively reads Reddit comments. I bet they would probably throw a fit about copyright, but
I just thought of, has anyone like use Cameo? Like I think that's one of the services that you get celebrities to read. Has anyone done a Cameo and they request the people to read like one side of a conversation, and then they splice that into a podcast, and then you can say, look, welcome to Tech Tales, I have Chris Pratt with me, and they just have no knowledge of the final result. Like I say my lines, and then I cut in Chris Pratt answering my couple sentences that I paid $150 for.
Okay, so I don't know about that one, but I have seen some YouTubers just do the general like, hey, surprise, it's such and such person, and they got them. But more than that, there was there was a shady company. I cannot for the life of me remember who it was, but there was some shady company that hired somebody off of, I don't know if it's Cameo or one of the other ones, but they hired them and gave them some stuff to read that turned out it was about a product that this company was pitching, and they made it seem like the celebrity was endorsing it. And then when it came out, like, no, this is all BS, the celebrity did not actually endorse it. It like that got some news, but not enough. And yeah, it was a bad situation. I wish I could remember which celebrity it was. Also, unrelated, but I just happened to look at the Cameo website, and holy crap, they got Brian Cox to be on there. I love Brian Cox. He's great. Evidently you can also get Mr. T, who I, not to be mean about it, but I honestly thought he was not still alive. Frankie Muniz, because that's what everybody wants. Ice Cube. Who doesn't want Ice Cube? I mean, come on. And a whole bunch of people I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know most of these.
LeVar Ball, the CEO of Big Baller Brand. Is that somebody you want doing a cameo?
I guess. I don't.
I'm not sure if there's like a fan base around him or something.
Yeah.
Austin suggests the Escobar phone. I don't think it. No, it definitely wasn't. No, maybe it was. Part of me wonders.
That would
It
be
actually could have been like
that
that
would be
last
on brand.
iteration.
Yeah.
Because the Escobar phone did the first fold, then it did like 2 other phones in rapid succession, and I think they did a 4th, and the 4th one was the like big. That one was the second one that got all the big press and promotion, and that one I know they did something shady with that, but I don't remember much about it.
I got a fun email. I had to give Lenovo my address, so they send me the their new smart clock, and the PR person also lives in Raleigh.
Nice.
I add that to the list of things in Raleigh. Well, I probably should have guessed that because Lenovo's actual headquarters is here.
I mean that would make sense. Yes.
That checks out. Yeah. So okay. Well, I don't have anything else to talk about, so I'm gonna go lay down. Thanks for having me again.
Well, thanks for hanging out, and
yeah,
I'm sure you'll be taking your retribution and having me record with you again soon, because we still have to finish up OS2.
yes.
OS2's bizarre saga.
Yeah, there's at least one more of those, maybe 2. I don't know. It goes on. Although I am doing another one that's unrelated, recording in tomorrow, hopefully, and hopefully that'll be a nice short one. I don't know. Every time I say that, I think I curse myself, because I thought the last one would be pretty short too, but we just went on like 50 million side trains of thought. So
Yeah, but it was all gold. Okay, some of it was gold.
no, it's all
a little. There was a moment. There was a moment. We had a moment.
I was very
Out of context, that's going to be a great clip.
I was very proud of myself that there was a section that was just like not even close to anything we were talking about, so I had to cut it out. But like there wasn't a good transition anymore, so I took me saying so like 30 minutes ago, just plop that in. It sounded it sounds perfect. You can't even tell.
Corbin's future as an audio engineer is coming soon.
It's rapidly developing. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for coming, everyone. I'm gonna go lay down. My head hurts. But okay, I'm going now. Bye.
Oh, really quick. So confirmation, thanks to Austin, it was the Escobar Fold 2. Chris Hansen was brought on to talk about this, and yeah, it was total BS.
Chris Hansen, the
Yeah, To Catch a Predator guy.
That's so weird.
Who coincidentally comes from NBC. We now have wraparound topics. If you'd like to catch Chris Hansen, visit NBC or subscribe to Peacock.
Yeah,
they get that one for free. But NBC, if you'd like further pitches for your service, feel free to contact me, and we'll talk sponsorships.
Yeah. When's the RambleCast becoming a Peacock exclusive?
I think I have a better chance to become a Spotify exclusive, but
no, you're not.
I mean,
nearly, you're not nearly racist enough, Cody.
If they'll, I mean, I'm old enough, I can fake it. Yeah. But if they'll take Rogan, they'll take me.
You would have a really good angle. You could be like, I'm the one smart person in this liberal organ.
Oh God.
You get some Twitter followers through that probably. Yeah. Okay, I'm going now. Bye.
Later, man.
Goodbye.
Okay. As I lazily switch over to solo view. The segues are drunk on the RambleCast. Oh, if only. Actually, a mojito sounds great right now. But oh well. Anyway, so again, in terms of topics, super still unprepared. So if anyone has anything that they want to hit, by all means bring it up. Totally unrelated, but I just keep glancing over at the Slack channel that's dedicated to our transition to the new system, and oh boy. So Android Police will be working someday. We are fairly confident, and that is pretty much the largest confirmation I could give. Let's see, and I'm somewhat amused and enthralled by glancing through all of the stuff on Cameo. There's a true metric ton of the wow, these people are still alive, or how did this happen? And for that matter, wow, some of the people really look like this now, eh? Interesting to know. Actually, Colin Mockery would be kind of awesome. Just gonna say. Anyway. So, let's see. What else do we have? Oh, and Corey Lewandowski was also... Or wait, did I misunderstand that article? Now that I'm getting a closer look. Yeah, okay. Hansen did it, but it was also Corey Lewandowski. Yep, okay. So both of them were duped into it. That's awesome. Austin, do you think Artem is having a heart attack even though he has no control? I don't just think it. Yeah, this is that. How much do you share? I'll just say he has been he's actually been, to his immense credit, he has been the one going through a lot of stuff and spotting bugs. He's reporting 10 times the amount of stuff that all the writers and editors have been spotting. So yeah, he's had his eye on the transition, and it's been active. It's been very active, so yep. Yeah, my thought is AP is probably, it's going to be some growing pains, naturally. There's always going to be some sticky issues and stuff holding up. How on earth, seriously, have we not posted anything in over 2 hours? This doesn't seem right. Like, I'm genuinely concerned at this stage. Something's not okay if that's the case. According to Steven, he just posted the meet the new look post, and I just, is it not getting the news category? So here's latest. Okay, so yeah, what the hell? We have a news group, or a news category here. That's the most recent thing is my movie post, which, by the way, I did not actually update 2 hours ago. I have no idea why it's even saying this. Oh my god, and the site is just running balls slow. Oh, this is going to be dark. Dark times, boys and girls. Dark times. Okay, but if I come down to latest, we do have the correct string of posts. So, oh, that's short. Okay, so yeah, that's... Alright, he took one screenshot and wrote 5 paragraphs. Okay, well, that's the thing. Let's see. Austin can't access the mobile site. I know that there's supposed to be an AMP page. I saw a link to that. I don't know why or if it's not going to show up though. Hey David, how's it going? Welcome to have you here. Or happy to have you here, and welcome. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Android Police. At the moment, I could see where that feels accurate. Yeah. Okay, and oh, yep, a few different things are breaking. But yeah, so the poor site is going to be struggling. I'm sure a lot of this stuff will get fixed over the next few days. But we'll get there. Oh yeah, okay, I see. Also, I don't think there's a formal announcement yet, but I believe we might have our new editor-in-chief at AP now. Like I said, I'm not going to give names because I assume that they'll want to actually do a formal announcement of this, but when that time comes, you'll know it was today, I guess. Let's see, Austin, you got through after 3 attempts. I bet needs more Canadian. No, Austin, it is already entirely Canadian. It's just like harvesting maple syrup. You know, you tap the tree and slowly all of the content drips out. That's how it works. That's how websites are supposed to work, isn't it? It makes them all the sweeter. Haha, maple syrup reference. Yeah. Okay. That felt like a dad joke. And Austin, it needs a maple syrup animation. That would actually be kind of awesome. I mean, obviously not something to brag about, but it'd be kind of awesome all the same. Oh geez. I think, did our author details get screwed up too? Oh gee, are you kidding me? Come on. What's going on, guys? Okay, hold on while I quickly take a look and see if this is as bad as I think it's gonna be. Oh wait, yeah, I should be doing that from a different window anyway. But oh, I'm gonna have to fix all my login stuff. Okay, I'll just deal with that later. But yeah, my author details are presumably butchered. I guess I can just look to see if they're screwed up on here though. What happens if I click my name? Does it go to... Yeah, good, it does. Yeah. My author details look correct. Or at least my bio. Though it's still missing all the websites and things like that, but I'll fix that later. Anyway, so at least that's something. Again, putting out calls for comments, because if any, or sorry, not comments, but topics. If anyone has anything that has happened this week that's worthy of discussion, feel free to bring it up. What is that? Oh, yeah. Okay. Oled Robotics? Wow. These are so DJI. Was this just announced? Yeah, September 27th. Evo Nano Series, Evo Light Series New drones, eh? 0.8-inch sensor. It's a little... I mean, that's not bad at all. But doesn't quite stack up against the latest couple of DJI drones. And that's in the Nano Plus. The regular Nano is a 1/2-inch sensor. What about the light? I may have to look into pinging these guys and see if they'll send review units. Because that could be... Hello. That could be interesting. And also, not that I think this matters that much, but a company that's actually doing... that's... I assume this is a US company. Is this... Auto Robotics? About. Are you a US company? Not that I personally care about this that much, but it's kind of a big deal, obviously, for corporate. Yep, they're Washington-based. Oh. No, yeah, they're Washington-based. That could be interesting. Yeah, I'll keep that open and might reach out to them. Let's see. Android 12.1 rumors. You know, aside from the fact I know that well, David, I'll come back to the Android 12.1 rumors shortly. Really quick. Let's see. Did they have any videos of this drone flying? Because just the mere fact that I'm scrolling through this and I'm just seeing a bunch of still images does not give me the most confidence. I feel like I want to see video of something like this. Especially with the nature of this page. Let's see. The Evo 2 series. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. There we go. I mean, they know how to light. Oh, they don't even show take off? Okay. So far, this looks very much like a DJI drone. Their colors are super saturated. I love that I'm watching a video in Chrome, and it freezes in the Chrome window, but it freezes in the Chrome window, but I see in OBS it's capturing fine. That's so weird to me. Okay, so I gotta mute this. I can hear everything from the video's audio, but you guys can't. I don't have it piping through. The exploding camera view. Always got to have an exploding camera view. A 6K? Yeah. Wait, whoa. Hold up. Was that an adjustable aperture? Like, for real? Or are they just faking it? Adjustable aperture. It says adjustable. And it has a FLIR camera? Oh, wait. This is specific models. But still. 12 cameras, okay. All I'm... Oh man, their video is so over sharpened, but it looks crunchy as hell. But it still doesn't look bad. Okay, so new question. How much? Where are these? Okay, let's go with the big boy here, the Evo 2 Pro. Well, okay, actually, how about let's look up both. Screw it, we'll look up both. Wait, what? The Evo 2 8K. Huh. Okay, so $1,500 for the 8K, which is not the Pro model. The Pro model is only 6K, but it has a larger sensor, which, okay, that happens, but... So, 1,800. 1,500 and 1,800. Both sold out. I am shocked. Shocked, I tell you. Huh, I say. 40-minute flight time? It's pretty good. Yeah, it's not that expensive. I mean, this is only a few $100s more than a DJI drone, a comparable DJI drone. So, you know, sorry to put it this way. I don't mean this to sound like negative or anything, but DJI is a company that kind of, you know, they're making the Chinese version of a drone. So yeah, they can successfully cut a few costs here and there. And if you got something that's an American company making basically the same thing, shocker, it's going to cost more. So yeah, that all kind of checks out. And it's not that much more. Like, it's not aggressive or abusive. Oh, one thing I hate. Look at the front. Oh. I wonder if this is that adjustable aperture right here, because it has a knurled wheel around it. I wonder if that adjusts the aperture. Awesome, but will the app suck? Being that it is so brand new, I'm going to guess yes. Like, DJI's app isn't great, but it's had some time to mature, and it has improved quite a bit. I don't know that I would have faith that the app here is going to be any good. And when I tried out the Skydio 2, like, their app was not good. It was passable. It didn't do that much, which also, you know, like, that's, I think, why it was passable, is it didn't do that much. But yeah, it also wasn't anything special or great. And I'm guessing this one's the FLIR camera. Oops. But one thing that drives me slightly crazy is when you have cameras that have all different sizes. So you can't have like a lens ecosystem that really works with them, or like ND filters or any of the other stuff that would make it really easy to do, like interchangeable stuff. But I am curious about this. So yeah, I'll reach out to them in the near future and see if they would set us up with review units. Also, just out of curiosity, Dragonfish. Okay. And Live Deck. Oh. Okay. Wireless HDMI transmitter. But it does 4.3 miles? Huh. I'm... Okay, so you can... This is like intentional, like, production stuff. That's interesting. Yeah, law enforcement, filmmaking. Yep, production. That's kind of neat. They're doing some interesting things. I don't know that I want to know, but $450. That's not bad. That's pretty reasonable actually for what it does. Huh. Okay, well, might what frequencies are they using? 2.4 according to this. 1080p at 60 hertz. They must be compressing pretty heavily to nail that. I mean, at that range too. That, I gotta admit, that sounds a little iffy. Because, I mean, DJI does this, but they're not pushing that level of quality. And even if they were, they're also doing a lot of they're using a protocol, a custom protocol. I think it's over the same frequency, but I could be wrong. And they're doing it with heavy, like the drone and the controller are doing some heavy encoding for that to make it work. So yeah, I mean, I can see it being possible, but I feel this feels a little tough. Or maybe I don't know, maybe they're doing some like tri-band transmission or something. Multi-channel transmit. I don't know. There's something makes me wonder about this. Or maybe it's more like when you're up close, you get a really great signal, but the further away you get, like it starts devolving from like 1080p at 60 to more like, you know, 1080p at 30-ish and 1080p at 10-ish. Like, it probably starts dropping out as time goes by. Still, that is interesting. Okay, so let's see. Thanks for that, David. That's interesting. Okay, wait, that was you, right? Yes. Okay, so we had Android 12.1 rumors too. Outside of the... Let's see. Outside of the brain fart. Outside of the fact it was aimed at foldables, I didn't catch too many other details of this. But in a surprise move, I'm going to be referencing the Ars Technica post on this, because I don't know, it was literally the first thing that came up in a search. Though I think this came from XDA, I assume. Yep. Okay, so XDA got it first, but we're pulling from here because that's just how it's gonna be. So iPad style dock, dual pane system UI. All right. So settings being in a dual pane, which looks, just to look at this immediately, my first thought is, hey, it's exactly what I expect a foldable to have as a settings screen. Pretty much identical to Samsung's, from what I recall, except with the notable difference that it has Material U, which I don't know anyone who's excited by that. Let's see, we pop over to... Oh, so you can pull down the shade on one side and... Oh, and you get the notifications on the other? Okay, it's kind of interesting. And this is... Both of these are just two phone interfaces next to each other. So if we adjust the screen aspect ratio to be two phones next to each other, we get much better looking interface. Yeah, okay. Let's see. All right, anyone who's read this may want to point out if I'm missing something, but David's saying, don't know, it looks odd. Yeah, I agree, but I think this is one of those things where if you're staring at it on a phone, like if you have the physical phone in front of you, this probably looks a lot better. What stands out to me about it though is I think there are going to be times that you might not want this. Very specifically, I feel like if I'm swiping down notifications on one side of the screen, I want those or rather I want that shade to come down on just that side of the screen. I probably actually want to leave the other side of the screen untouched. At least that would be my first thought. And I'm not even sure I necessarily want the notifications to go away if I were to tap. Austin, you think they are independently controlled? Okay, let's see. Does this say? It's early code. They're estimating. Or, oh no, they aren't. Okay, setting screen is back to a dual pane configuration, which was the top level settings. Blah blah blah. Okay. All of these dual pane interfaces use a 50-50 split, which is very different from how Google used to do things, obviously on tablets. Okay, we can skip past that. Example screenshots use the Fold 3 aspect ratio, which is currently our best guess for what a Pixel Foldable will look like. The thing is, the Fold seems way too wide for a design that's happening here. If Google is using two side-by-side phone interfaces, it sure seems like the correct aspect ratio for that would be double the width of a normal phone. Fold 3 is wider than that, which brings up the standard Android issue of it looking ugly on wide devices. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so we'll come back to the dock in a second. Okay, Ron, I don't think is making any note about the notifications being independently controlled. I'm just looking at this and noting that it seems like, I don't know, maybe they are, maybe they're not. And that either way, either way, I'm coming down on the side of I want to be able to swipe down notifications on one side and be able to react or control them while leaving something else open. Part of the reasoning for that is, let's say on this side, I have open a web browser. And on this side, somebody messages me. Well, there we go. On this side, somebody, like I get a notification that there's a message. I pull down the notification shade, tap reply on that message to reply in, like kind of in line. I want to be able to reply to this message while seeing the web browser right here. Obviously, you could do that just as easily by tinkering with your current app, but you know, I'm thinking you maybe don't want to leave whatever other thing, or you don't want to close one app to switch over to messages. This is why inline messaging happened. But you know, if you're looking at movie times, just for example, you've got movie times open in a browser, and you just quickly you get a response from someone, and it's like, oh hey, I want to tell them really quick, here's what 2-3 movies I want to suggest, and here are the times. Like that's a scenario that makes a lot of sense. So I want to say that strikes me as the thing where it should happen. I don't think I want dual screen notifications popping out. or rather, I don't want to donate half of my phone screen to the controls, the tiles, and the other half to notifications. That would bother me. Let's see. So then getting down to the dock. So this is official-ish. What happened to department store? Okay. So looking at this dock, recent apps show 2 rows of thumbnails. Yeah, okay. That's whatever to me. This dock leaves me with, I think, questions. Because if you were to have something like this, all right, where I kind of struggle with this one is if you're going to have something like this, there's actually no reason you can't already have this in Android. When I look at this type of interface, I'm thinking, hey, what about a folding phone makes this the right solution? Why would I want, or why would this only appear on a folding phone? Or what about a folding phone makes this a better experience? And I don't have an answer for that. When I see this, I just think, hey, why can't I have that on, let's say, a Pixel 6 Pro? The screen is going to be big enough to fit at least 4 icons across the bottom. If there's some gesture that brings this up, why not have it on that device? The counterpoint to that is maybe this is only for picking which app is going to be in one of those frames. So obviously, like maybe you drag the phone, well, I'm just picking them in order. You drag the phone up to the first screen and then messages to the second screen, or maybe the camera, whatever. I could kind of see that being the use case for this dock. And it might be the better use case even. But outside of that, I'm not really sure what its intended function is. Let's see. Screenshots have a pinned black bar at the bottom of the screen, making for a hybrid of the iPad's new dock UI and the old honeycomb bar. Of course, everything could change eventually, but for now, the icons at the bottom just seem to be your recent apps. Being able to pin apps to this bar would be nice. The dock, assuming it doesn't auto-hide, will cut into the vertical real estate apps have access to. The dock, assuming it doesn't. Okay. Vertical space is currently a big problem for apps on foldables, especially when you aren't in blah blah blah. Okay. Yeah, I think what probably happens here is this does auto hide, but when you swipe up, it brings up the list of, or the icons for the recent apps that you have, and you'll probably just be able to drag one of them into one of the frames, after which I bet this goes away. That would be the most reasonable explanation, I think. The next, let's see, is there anything else specific about this? Let's see, and then they showed, this is the actual recent app screen. And my only takeaway from this is there's not really a reason why this would be... Well, no. Okay, I don't really have any takeaway here. This doesn't show anything. It's literally just showing that the recent apps will be horizontally scrollable, and that's kind of it. Which, okay. Not exactly information here. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything else of substance. Was there more than this in terms of leaks? Because this is... I know that we've heard 12.1 rumors already prior to yesterday, but I don't know that there was really much else out there. And I think XDA is the only one that... Or, sorry. I know XDA is the only one that's been hyping the rumors, but... That's it? Okay. Yeah. I mean... This doesn't get me excited for a Pixel Fold. I'll say that. Like, I kind of want this if it's the way that I am predicting it will be. If it is my hypothetical, you swipe up and this is just how you pick which apps are in a pane. I will note, it seems weird that there isn't like a plus or a ... or some menu over there that's your like I want to start more apps kind of thing. There probably should be, I don't know, maybe even like I guess the typical app drawer button or something, or maybe you swipe up a second time. So you swipe up once, it gives you access to your recent apps. You swipe up a second time, and now it's basically your app drawer. That could make sense. It's awkward. It's not the ideal way to do it, but I could see that being the way. So I'm okay with that. And then to look at this, if it works the way that I think it does with notifications or the window shade, I don't like it. But if it works the way I'm hoping it does, and maybe if they give you an option to make it work the way that I want it to, then I'm good. So that's a fat we'll see sort of thing. But yeah, this doesn't get me excited for 12.1. It's nothing against it. It's just I don't feel like this, or rather, it doesn't get me excited for a Pixel Fold. Sorry. I already have an interest in a Pixel Fold. I think that would be a neat device. I'm still probably not going to buy it because, as some of you, let's see, was this posted? Yeah, this was posted in Discord earlier. You know, when you consider Ben's flip just did this. I mean, that is not good. Like, his phone screen is just trash now. I mean, no, who wants this? And don't get me wrong, like, I still think folding phones are 100% the future. I think this is something, not everybody, but I think a lot of people are going to have folding phones in just a matter of a few years. That being said, we're not there yet. The fact that this is, at least presumably, according to him, just a random thing that happened and not through, like, some sort of jarring or abuse, that's not okay. And in the last one, yeah, about an hour later, or was it 2 or 3 hours later, whatever, you know, the whatever happened to his phone's now changing color and going bad. Like, that's bad. So yeah, I want folding phones to happen. I don't think they've happened yet. There's something, little fly just crawled across my microphone. But yeah, this does not make me want a folding phone today. This makes me want a folding phone in a year or 2 years, something like that. So cheers, by all means. I want Google working on this. I don't want them working on, or I want the companies that are building folding screen tech to make this not a problem ever again. That's the real takeaway to me. That these types of issues cannot happen with any frequency. Any interesting tweet there? I don't think so. Okay. So yeah, I want a Pixel Fold, but I'm not prepared to get first generation. I think I'm gonna let other poor souls. I was about to say poor schmucks, but I'm gonna let other poor souls be the early adopters on this one. If I had the money for it, I'd throw it around and pick up one of these in a heartbeat as soon as it comes out, but I think I'll be happily sticking to the Pixel 6 in the meantime, or 6 Pro, and hoping that that doesn't have any egregious design flaws itself. Let's see. Oh God. I just looked over again at the AP Slack and it's like, yep, it's gonna be... I'm gonna have a lot of reading to do when I get back. There are some struggles. Also, just as a heads up, fair chance, I am basically, I am expecting tomorrow to basically be a, like, almost non-existent day for me, because I'm going to be working on updating my code for the generator that I built for the movie post. So I've talked about this in the past. Basically what I do is I record everything in, or all the movie details go into basically a few files that are written in JSON, and I use a generator that reads those files and outputs everything in HTML that I can then copy and paste into the movie post, and that way I don't have to mess around with any of the other interfaces or much of anything. I'm going to have to do a whole lot of experimenting and updating of the format and tweaking, because anyone who has seen it before, I'll just pop into the movie post since it happens to be handy. Okay, did something get fixed? Because it looks right now. Well, it looks half right. It's not... Okay, so the movie post is actually looking kind of the way it's supposed to. Ish. So the very first entry does in fact have its trailer where it's supposed to, and all the text actually looks like it's formatting correctly. But then the next trailer, and it appears to be all the trailers that follow, do not. Also, hey, my review is in super tiny type, so that's awesome. By the way, I watched Apache Junction. For anybody who likes westerns, don't watch it. It's almost funny in how bad it is. Also, David, you were asking me about westerns in the game stream, and I suggested American Outlaws. I'm actually going to also add one other to the list. I know, totally going off on movies for 1 second, but let's see. So American Outlaws, just pulling that one up. It's 2001. Colin Farrell, Ali Larter, and Scott Conn. Okay, yeah, I guess he was probably the second, kind of second lead. Now as I look down the cast list, yeah, I thought there was a couple more people who were significant, but I guess not. But yeah, this is a good one. The other one, going way back in time, old Mel Gibson movie called Maverick. Calling it a western almost feels like a stretch, but it was a classic. Also Jodie Foster and James Gardner. It's kind of a comedy western in a way, I guess. But if you get a chance, those are westerns that you may check out. Both were actually good movies. as opposed to most westerns, which are they're westerns. You get the idea. Anyway, let's see. What else was there? Oh yeah. Anyway, so probably most of tomorrow I'm gonna be fixing the format for how I generate the text for this post, and probably fixing everything that went wrong with this post that's preventing all the YouTube embeds. And okay, so it's the first trailer for each week that's coming through. I bet that's an easy fix. It's probably something like there needs to be an extra line around each one or something stupid like that. Wonder if... Let's hop down to comments. I bet there's... No? No one has hopped in here to inform us that things didn't work right. I guess no one... fair chance no one's visited this page yet. So, we'll see. Alright, anyway. So, that's good to know. I was hoping to be working on review stuff, because I have... Man, I have been trying so hard to get the review done for... Yeah, I have the product page here, so... I've been trying really hard to get the review done for these earbuds. But, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to finish. It's going slower than I expected. It's hard to focus when your chair sucks and you can't sit and actually work. Let's see, Austin, will they cross-post the articles on Screen Rant? I don't know. And here's the thing, you asked that, and I can honestly say I'm surprised that that hasn't been brought up yet. Because if there's one site that obviously should be cross-posting it, it's that one. I'm not sure how much cross-posting Valnet wants to do, though. Because for those that don't know, what the hell? Oh, no. You do not. XDA decided to start sending out a newsletter to everyone who's signed up on the site. That just... No, that is so spammy. Okay, well, that's gonna get an unsubscribe in a minute. Yeah, I shouldn't be looking over my email, but you glance over for just a second and all of a sudden... Wait, that's... Oh, god damn it. Okay. Evidently, I'm also going to have to wake up early tomorrow for a meeting. That's going to be fun. Okay, anyway. Yeah. What a great time to just glance around. Yeah, that's going to be something. So, okay. As usual, I'm kind of calling 15-minute warning, even though it may end slightly sooner or later. But we're closing in on 5 o'clock, and that seems to be kind of the good closing time. But yeah, I've been trying to finish this review. I guess I'll be pushing it back. I also have the oh, David's got to run. If you're not sticking around for the next few minutes, then hey, take it easy. Glad having you by, man. But yeah, so reviews I'm working on. Obviously the earbuds, 2 sets of earbuds. I have the DJI OM5 that I'm going to be reviewing. I also have the Fossil Gen 6 watch coming. And I have just agreed to review something else. I can't talk about what it is yet because the products have not been announced. I don't think anyone here is actually going to be interested in them, but I'm aiming to make the review interesting, if that counts for anything. I've decided what I want to start doing, especially on products or on reviews that are themselves for products that most people won't really have an interest in. I want to do the review so the review is interesting. And I have ideas for how I'm going to start doing that, but we'll get there. You'll get it. Anyway, so with that, I don't know. That's pretty much my review lineup. Figured I'd share that for no particular reason. Trying to think, are there any other topics? Austin, I mean, I can't absolutely say what it is. It's a product that hasn't been announced yet. But, you know, you'll find out soon enough. Let's see. What else is there? Oh, trying to think. Yeah, trying to think what else. I'm looking at anything around for possible, like, closing topics or something. Let's see. Oh, whoops. Oh, well, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know. Anyone have other topics? I'm pretty much at a loss. I'm trying to think of something else that's changed or happened. Let's see. Really quick, I will also extend the question for anybody who is, damn it. What were the words I was going to go with? Oh, for anyone who's watching the game streams, what are your thoughts? Stick with Watch Dogs or move on? Let me know. I'm curious myself. Austin, it's been a slow week. Yeah, it really just has been. I've now moved to skimming down the Android Police page, which is obviously also kind of a little iffy at the moment. All right, yeah, I don't know. I just cannot think of much else to talk about. It's been one of those weeks. I think actually we're kind of lucky to have made it this long. Oh, you know what? I take it back. One quick thing, just because. Oh, damn it. Where is that? This should be so easy to find. Galaxy S22. I guess I should say Ultra. Let's quickly talk about the ugliest phone camera that they could have done. At least so we assume. So, assuming that this leak is real, the presumed real version is the one on the left, and I guess they're hypothetically suggesting maybe the one on the right did exist or might have existed. I don't know. Personally, I look at this and I think, I don't buy it. The reason I don't buy it is basically it's not because there is too much here. Now, sure, if they redesigned this a little bit, I think they could have actually still kept it as a square. Something that, remember, people used to even look at the square and say that was too much. So, you know. But I'm looking at this, and the biggest issue I find with it is, if I were designing this, I would take the bottom lens, and I would shift it halfway over, so you could do more of a the shape of the back module would be more like a pointer. It would look kind of like a Google Maps style pin. Not the pin itself, but like that info box that they do, or maybe did. I'm not sure if that's even still in use. But I could see that being a thing. It would be a much more logical looking design. It would be more attractive. I think design-wise, it would actually maybe have some functional value to it. Maybe. So, yeah, I don't dig this. I think they could have done this so much better, assuming this is real. Really quickly, though, looking to this hypothetical version with the 2 separate modules sticking out, I'm just going to say no. I don't believe for a second that this is something that they would have shipped, and the biggest reason being, and I know that this is going to sound dumb, but it's entirely a reason that I think some designer would have looked at and gone, wait, no, we can't do it like this. It's because it would be way too easy for gunk and weird crap to get stuck in between these 2 modules. Because it would be it would be just a little too narrow for you to use like a finger or nail or something like that to get in there and clean it out. But it's wide enough that it would capture a ton of gunk. And it's also wide enough that case makers would kind of be stuck in that position of deciding if they're going to have a thin little strip of case running up between the 2 cameras, or if they're going to cover it up. Like, the more you do of these extra surfaces, toothpick holder, I love it. But the more that you do with 2 surfaces like this, the more trouble you create for accessories, for users, everything like that. This is why phones at large have become so featureless, so much without extra surfaces, because they're trying to cut out that kind of design problem. They don't want users to have weird accessory issues. They don't want cases to fit too weird. Obviously, cases have been afterthoughts for a lot of phones, but at this stage, I feel like Samsung is very aware how many people put cases on their phones. So, yeah, anyway, I look at this and I think, nope, this is not happening. At least not that one on the... Sorry, did I say left earlier? I meant right. But yeah. Yeah, that one not... It just seems too unlikely to me. And again, the one on the left, this... Whoa. Chrome did a weird thing to me, but we'll ignore it. This one, again, my only real problem here is I don't think that they should do it like this. I think it should be... I think that bottom one needs to be nudged over. Also, what the hell is up with this render? It looks like they added scratches to the top of the indentation. Also, it looks like it's cut out... It looks like it's cut out in a vertical rectangle. Which, that makes me look at it and think anamorphic or maybe a macro. Something like that. I don't know. There is something funky about that. It doesn't look like the rest of the render at all. But hey, whatever. It is what it is. So, yeah. Trying to think. What other things? And did we... I don't remember if this leak actually talks about what those cameras likely are. It's a periscope lens. If it is... I mean, I would believe that. But if it is, why... Well, I don't know. I guess I see it. By the way, my other question, I'll just throw this one in there too. If you're going to have a camera module this big, do you really still want it in the corner? This is definitely one of those times where Google kind of spreading it out into a vertical strip is becoming a lot more logical. When you're just going to have this much stuff in your camera bar, why not just spread it out? Because one single bar across the entire top of the back of the phone makes so much more sense. Or do it the way that Motorola did it. Or wait, was it Motorola? Now I'm not totally sure. But whoever it was that had the big LG maybe? Anyway, somebody did a circular camera module. And they just put the cameras around in a circle. Well, the cameras and various other sensors and stuff. They were all in a circle. At this point, why not do that? You could have a nice symmetrical looking phone. Just move the whole thing over towards the middle. Nokia? Okay. I mean, I guess Nokia did it too, yeah. It was one of the more mainstream phones, though, that I know also did it. I swear I am so close to certain LG did this. Because one of the phones was notorious for having this smiley face. Smartphones, smiley face cameras. If this works, I'll laugh. Because that should not be as successful of a search. How about robot face? Yeah, okay. This is... I was hoping for something a little bit more correct. This is definitely not it. Damn it, what is it? If I just search for face cameras, that's not going to do it. Okay, Nokia 9, just to look and make sure this is or is not the one I'm thinking of. Oh, yeah, okay. That's not what I was talking about, but yes, that's a good example of it. A ridiculous example, as it were, but yeah, this is exactly the right kind of thing to demonstrate that. You want something that looks symmetrical, even if this looks kind of silly. It is still symmetrical and more logical. Okay, let's try camera module weird. There's got to be something. I love how much the iPhone is coming up as the one. Okay, this is definitely not what I had in mind, but to be fair, do that. Samsung, you could do this. It's ugly, but it makes sense. It tracks more logically than a weirdly shaped thing. Oh, why is... This should come up. Okay, still not what I had in mind, but to be fair, like, this is great. This is absolutely what they should be doing. Because holy crap, does that look... Like, aside from the fact that it looks eerily, super eerily similar to an iPod's click wheel, this is just... It looks stylish. I mean, kind of ugly in a weird way, but it looks stylish. So, cheers to Huawei for kind of nailing that one. Is that the Mate 40? Let's see. Mate 40 Pro Plus. Really? Pro Plus? You need to have... Okay. Still not what I had in mind, though. Alright. This is stupid, but this was one of the early Pixel 5 theoretical things. The O face. Definitely not, again, not what I was thinking of, but look, it's actually not the worst idea I've seen. Okay, that's just comical, but I mean seriously. Again, not the worst thing ever. Come on. How have I not stumbled across the one I'm thinking of yet? It actually looked like a freaking face. Here's another one that, again, not the most stylish, but this works. Rip Huawei. They're still okay-ish. Z3. Z3 smartphone. Oh. This is not what I was thinking of, but it's okay. We're just gonna go back to here. Is there a real picture of it? Oh, hello. That is an interesting look. That's real interesting. That looks like a chunky little boy. Fat, but also small. Also, oh my god, all those pogo pins on the back. What are they doing with this thing? What is the point of this phone? I feel like I need to understand it, but I also don't want to understand it at all. I am almost certain if I just switch this to Motorola. That's not it, but it's closer. I swear it was Motorola or LG. And it's funny, you type in, you start searching for weird camera modules on a Motorola phone and you get results. You really get some results. By the way, okay. This, it's not great, but this looks like a much better start than what that leaked Samsung what that Samsung render suggests. Like this would be a good way to go. Symmetry. Style points are not granted for the brushed metal look or any of that stuff, but we'll move on. Okay, maybe I should try LG because I'm feeling like I'm not getting the one I want out of this. I mean, hell, even the Poco phone, that's something about the corner mounted camera. Just, I feel like it's running its course when the camera module gets too big. If you have a camera module that's reaching like halfway across the phone or reaching halfway down the phone, that's not okay anymore. You probably just need to start admitting defeat and doing your camera module differently. Okay, we're gonna try LG because I don't think I'm coming across what I wanted. And when you search for weird LG stuff, you definitely find that too. It's hard to go right with LG phones. By the way, here we go. This is a perfect example. If you're gonna have way too many cameras, here's what you do with them. That looks good. It actually does. I mean, it's not perfect, but it looks, that looks really nice. Samsung should be doing something like that. But okay. Do we possibly have the weird one I was thinking of? The one that was super memeable. I'm not seeing it. Why am I not seeing it? Austin. It looks like that creepy tree spirit in that Studio Ghibli movie. I do not know this movie. At least not by that name or title. Okay. I think I gotta give up on this because I'm not seeing this freaking weird camera module. I wonder if it was Huawei or maybe it was Xiaomi. That's the problem. There are just enough different manufacturers that I could probably be looking for a couple hours and somehow still not find what I'm looking for. Oh, what in the... That's an ugly boy. That makes no sense to me. My brain is very confused. All right. Anyway, damn it, my Slack notifications started coming back through, so I'm muting them again for another half hour so that I don't have to listen to them. It's a dual screen case for LG. That's so ugly. It's real ugly. Yeah, I don't understand why it is I just cannot seem to find that camera module I'm thinking of. By the way, oh, wait. I think it was this. The LG G5. Because in the right perspective, yeah. From the right perspective, this looks like a robot doing like an O face. I mean, there's no way not to kind of see it once you hear that. But here's the thing. For as stupid as this looks, and it looks so stupid, the reality is this is actually still a design that's more suited to the camera. Like, this actually works. If you're going to have something... And by the way, that still isn't the actual original one I started looking for, but you could say that's where LG went completely off track. Yes. I mean, LG Friends was just the categorical whoops of its time, but yeah. So LG Friends, Jesus. But yeah, there was something else. I know I'm thinking of a different thing, that it was a circle, a black circle, like almost dead middle of the phone, and it was centered. When the phone is in portrait orientation, it was centered horizontally. Wait. Whether you say centered horizontally or centered vertically, that kind of just means different things. It was a little bit up towards the top of the phone, but it was centered between the sides of the phone. And it was, I mean, that was, I think, a good design. It's not the prettiest, but it's so much better than this hypothetical. I thought that popped up in one of these searches, but oh well. It's so much better than what Samsung's rumored S22 Ultra looks like. So, yeah. I think they can do this better. I'm hoping that leak is just like some goofy thing that they got. That somebody designed as like the test model. And someone else saw it and was like, yeah, we can use that while we're developing this, but let's change that for the final release. They have this in their... They have this ability. Samsung is not without the ability to come up with better designs. Okay. It's like, wait. How did I pick up a box and it's only the lid? that makes sense. All right. So anyway, with that, I think I am fully out of stuff. This week has just been odd. It's an odd week. It's a weird week. So, with that, let's see. This weekend should be back to playing again. For those who are watching the game streams, let me know. Stick with or leave Watch Dogs. I did not see any responses in chat, so feel free to comment in the Game Streams channel on the Discord. If anyone listening is not in the Discord, check down in the description. You will find links, or a link to join the Discord. Let's see. What else is there? As usual, should be back Friday and Saturday. I can basically guarantee weather is not going to be an issue. But I guess logically I should check, because you never freaking know these days. 74 both days. Yeah, weather is not a problem. So yeah, I will be streaming both days, or should be. Let's see. Trying to think if there's anything else. Was there anything else? Could there be anything else? I don't think there is anything else. So thanks to everyone for coming by and hanging out, being part of the conversation, joining me, keeping me talking, and all the other good stuff. If you'd like to throw anything at the channel to help support it, keep it kicking, there are links to Patreon and Streamlabs, both of which are methods for contributing to the channel. Let's see. Mind blanking as I try to think. Was there some other set of words I was going to say? I don't think there are. So, to that end, good night, everybody.